So I've changed the shirt. You know, maybe hearkening back to a time when I was considered to be more desirable. Um, at least desirable enough to talk to in person, as opposed to continuously trying to create me as one of those abstractions that Morris Isserman alleges Michael Harrington discussed in this book. But while Isserman writes the foreword, there's also an introduction provided by Irving Howe. Anybody know who Irving Howe is? Let me pause. Indeed, I'm correct. Irving Howe, among other things, was the author of a book called World of Our Fathers. It is about Eastern European Jewish immigration to the United States, specifically to New York. I used to have a copy. I didn't read it cover to cover, but I read a considerable amount of it. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at the very version that I had, the cover art, the font, the graphic at the side. It was one of my favorite books. It had these pictures in the center, and it was a wealth of information. One of the things it discussed that was always fascinating to me was the discussions of the Yiddish press early on in the United States. There was a time when there were literally thousands of daily newspapers produced in the United States in all kinds of languages. Shortly, actually, the day of the death of Barbara Bush, I was ruminating on a particular project I would have liked to have engaged had I been given the opportunity to go to the Library of Congress. My concern, or rather my interest, was in if any of these early publications had been acquired and archived in the Library of Congress. I wanted to see them, the actual print publications, what they look like, how they were laid out, how they progressed in terms of education. See, these publications back then were oftentimes produced by people that actually had to work as well. And in the many manners, a lot of them were also used as literacy. That the people would actually use these publications not only for organizing people for political purposes, but for basic education, what they call the remedial education necessary to engage in collective action and organizing in the nascent movement for democracy in this country. It used to be public education of a particular kind, insofar as they were distributed publicly and meant for the public, right? Part 1.